At the Lantern Festival, I trotted behind the brass band with Jenny and Finey, singing St. Martin songs, and my head, or the soul in my head, was constantly scanning the surroundings for Elaine with its person radar. I was completely powerless against it. That just happened, and I observed myself inwardly from above, stunned. It felt like Elaine was part of my family. Full stop. I was literally forced to accept this. No chance. Elaine was still single at this time and had already given me her phone number in the daycare kitchen. It lay on my desk for years afterwards. Pink highlighter handwriting. Too hot to save it into my cell phone. I had made a pact with myself. I would just pretend I didn't have a crush on her. She was more than 10 years younger than me. Since I inevitably had to see her almost every day, I decided not to chase her. I didn't want her to feel harassed by me at work. Besides, I was already in a partnership and averse to affairs. So I pretended, of course, completely inconspicuously, as if nothing was going on. I forgot her birthday on purpose, placed myself not in front of her during development talks concerning our daughter, so I wouldn't run the risk of staring at her, admiring her great hair, and practiced keeping my distance. This worked so well that one day the head of the daycare center took me aside and asked me if I was having an affair with a blonde. People were already talking. When I asked her if that was so obvious, she replied, "Yes, of course." "Oh, funny," I replied to her and grinned. I couldn't say anything more on this. Apparently my perfect cover was blown. During that time, really bizarre things happened. My wife and I took part in one of the aforementioned development talks regarding our daughter. Elaine was now having a boyfriend. A familiarity had developed also between my wife and her, since my wife was very fond of Elaine. I hadn't told my wife at this point. Nobody knew about this, except maybe the daycare manager and the people. It would take years before I could even talk to any one of my friends about this. That was my secret. I had sat at Elaine's side, of course, for security reasons, because of the staring. My admiration was unbridled, and after the official part, our conversation drifted off into private areas. Elaine mentioned that her boyfriend was upset when she pointed out to him a while back that he had gained weight since quitting smoking. My wife and I had successfully lost weight at this point and shared our diet tips with her. That's why we brought this topic up. Elaine mentioned being elated at her boyfriend's behavior and casually remarked that he wasn't actually her type. A conversation started between her and my wife, which I continued to attend. My wife told her about one of our first dates when Jenny and me were so excited that we smoked a lot of cigarettes. Then the sentence followed from her mouth while looking in my direction. "So, if you meet him one day, be prepared, you guys will smoke a lot. You may borrow him from me." My brain sizzled. I was about to shout out. Did she really say that? A really dreamy idea. Fantastico, awesome. I was stunned, and I stayed stunned.